Apprentices, I'm Bethany Karchner. I'm thrilled that you're joining me today as I demonstrate an in-depth look of a few of my techniques that I used on my cupcake canvas. I'll meet you in my studio. Let's make the armature for the frosting. Take your tin foil and scrunch it up. I like to make sure my bottom of my cupcake is here so I can kind of judge the size of it. Scrunch it down so it's a little bit flatter. If you want some different drips, you can kind of manipulate the tin foil into a kind of a scallop a little bit there. Now, if your center is really flat and your edges are really thick, what you can do is just take some tacky glue and put some glue in the middle there, and take an extra piece of aluminum foil and kind of just stick it in the middle. That will allow you to have a puffy pancake or puffy frosting also. So you go like that. Now I don't like any hard edges, so I usually make my edges nice and soft, like that. Okay, so that is my armature. I have already rolled out my paper clay into a pancake, and I'm going to place it on top of the armature, and I'm going to flip it over and bring it around to the back side. Now if you have any excess, just tear it off. Now this doesn't have to go all the way around to the back side, all the way through the back side, because it's just going to be glued to your canvas. But you do want it to cover all the edges. You don't want any edges to be exposed. So you can get your hands wet and roll, just kind of rub the paper clay, and that will get rid of any seams that you may have. Like you can see I have a seam right here. I'm going to roll that out here with my fingers. And you can see I didn't cover it all. Don't worry about that. Just as long as it's flat enough that you can glue it on well, that's all you really care about. And it doesn't have to be absolutely perfect, because keep in mind you're going to be covering it with snow techs and with paints and things. So like if it's a little bit bumpy on the front, okay, so now my frosting is done, and I like the size of it. Just going to verify that it looks good with my base. Yep, I like that. Okay, so now let that dry. To make the cherry, just take a little piece of paper clay, roll it in your hands till it's a ball. Make sure that there's no seams on it. Looks like there's a couple of seams on mine, so I'm going to roll it again with a little bit of water. Okay, looks good. Now I'm going to press it onto my surface just to make sure the back is just a little bit flat. It makes it much easier to glue if it's a little bit flat. And then I'm going to take my wire right here, and I've got a paintbrush I'm using the back of, and I am just curling the wire around the paintbrush just for decoration. You can see what I've done here. And then I'm just going to stick it into my cherry like that, and I'm just going to let that dry with my frosting.